Everyone thinks a bladeless tower fan is some magic new physics. But the numbers prove it hides a real bladed fan in its base, and it costs about 5 times a ceiling fan while moving less air per watt. Here's what actually matters when you buy a fan. Neither one lowers the temperature of the air. Both just move air over your skin so sweat evaporates and you feel cooler. So the real question is simple. How much air does it move and how much electricity does that cost? That's airflow per watt. But there's a trap. One of these fans is built to cool a whole room. The other aims a stream at one person. Judge them on the wrong job and you'll overpay for nothing. Start with the ceiling fan because it's the older, simpler machine. Its blades are huge, usually 42 to 52 inches across. Picture that, nearly the width of a doorway spinning above you. And it turns slowly, often under 200 rotations a minute. Big and slow is the whole trick. Those long blades are tilted, so each pass shoves a wide sheet of air straight down. Because the blades are so large, they grab an enormous volume of air at once. Fan people measure that in cubic feet per minute, the amount of air pushed each minute. A good ceiling fan moves 4,000 to 6,000 cubic feet per minute. That's a river of air, not a stream. But here's the part people miss. The ceiling fan pushes that air gently. Low pressure, high volumes. It's not blasting a tight beam at your face. It's stirring the entire room top to bottom. The downward column hits the floor, rolls outward along it, and climbs the walls back up. The whole room becomes one slow loop of moving air. So how does moving air actually cool you if the temperature never drops? Your body is always shedding heat by evaporating a thin film of sweat off your skin. Still air traps a warm, humid layer right against you. Moving air peels that layer away and speeds the evaporation, and evaporation pulls heat out of your skin. That's wind chill, the exact same effect that makes a breezy 80-degree day feel like 75. The ceiling fan doesn't cool the room. It cools the people in the room everywhere at once. But that broad, gentle river raises an obvious question. If big, slow blades move that much air so easily, how does a skinny tower with no visible blades move any air at all? Now the tower and its whole marketing rest on one word, bladeless. That word is doing a lot of work. Cut the base open and there it is. A small, fast-bladed fan spinning inside where you can't see it. Engineers call this an impeller, a compact wheel of curved blades that grabs air and flings it outward. It's usually a brushless motor, meaning it spins with magnets and electronics instead of rubbing carbon contacts, so it runs quiet and lasts. So the tower isn't bladeless. The blades are just hidden in the base. Here's what that hidden impeller does. It sucks room air in through vents near the floor and shoves it up into the hollow loop you see on top. That loop isn't just a ring. Its inner edge is a razor-thin slot running all the way around. All that air is crammed out through that tiny gap, so it leaves fast as a thin curtain of high-speed air. Now the clever part, and it's real physics, not magic. The loop's cross-section is shaped like an airplane wing, an airfoil. As that thin curtain races over the curved surface, it drags the still room air right behind it along for the ride. One moving stream pulls neighboring air into the flow. So the air actually leaving the fan is several times more than the little impeller pushed in. That's the multiplier the ads brag about, and it's genuine. But notice what kind of air you get. It's not a broad, room-filling river like the ceiling fan. It's a fast, narrow, focused jet, and because the whole tower pivots, you can aim it exactly at one spot. Great for pointing at a person. Which sets up the real fight, focused jet versus whole room river. So which one actually gives you more cooling for your electric bill? Time for the head-to-head that the price tag hopes you never run. Put both fans on a meter and the gap is brutal. A tower fan typically pulls 30 to 60 watts to push its narrow stream. A ceiling fan moves a whole room on roughly 30 to 75 watts, a similar amount of electricity. But look at what each one moves for that power. The ceiling fan is shoving thousands of cubic feet of air a minute. The tower is moving a fraction of that. Measure air moved per watt, and the ceiling fan often wins by 4 to 6 times. Same electricity, several times more air. Break time equals 0.6 is / let that land. So where did your money go? Because 5 times the price clearly did not buy you more airflow per watt. The cheaper machine wins that race outright. Here's where the catch pays off. That extra $400 bought a small hidden fan and its motor. It bought the oscillation that swings the stream side to side. On many models, it bought an air filter and a fussy bit of engineering. And it bought the look and the safety. No exposed spinning blades a curious toddler can poke. That is a real, honest list of things. It's just not the thing the name promised. The word bladeless makes you think you're paying for a breakthrough in moving air. You're actually paying for convenience, safety, and a clean silhouette wrapped around an ordinary hidden fan. None of that shows up as more air per watt on the meter. So if the cheap fan moves more air for the same power, is the expensive one ever the right call? Yes, but only for a completely different job than the one the ceiling fan is built for. So when does each fan actually win? Here's the clean split. If your goal is cooling a whole room and everyone in it, for as little money and power as possible, the ceiling fan wins, and it isn't close. One machine mounted up high stirs the entire space and cools 3 people on a couch as easily as one. That broad river of air is exactly the right tool for a living room or bedroom. Now flip the situation. What if you can't mount anything to the ceiling? You're renting, or it's a desk or a baby's room. That's the tower's turn. It sits on the floor, plugs into any outlet, and needs zero installation. You want cool air aimed right at you at your desk or your bedside and nowhere else. The tower's focused, swinging jet does exactly that. Got a toddler or a cat who'd absolutely stick a paw where it doesn't belong. No exposed blades means real peace of mind. And when it's dusty, you wipe the smooth loop with a cloth instead of unscrewing a grill and cleaning each blade. Those are genuine wins: safety, portability, easy cleaning, personal aim. But keep one fact nailed down through all of it. Neither fan makes the air colder. Not by a single degree. Both do the same one job: move air across your skin so your sweat evaporates faster and your body sheds heat. Whole room, river, or personal jet, the cooling you feel comes from that airflow over your skin, never from any drop in the actual temperature. Remember that, and the marketing stops being able to surprise you. So here's the verdict with the catch fully out in the open. That 5 times price, roughly $400 extra, does not buy you more air per watt. It buys a hidden fan, plus oscillation, filtering, safety, and a sleek shape. Real conveniences. Just not the breakthrough the word bladeless implies. Break time equals 0, 6 is / now the buying guide tied to your actual space. Cooling a whole room, a living room, a bedroom, a space with several people. Get the ceiling fan. It moves the most air for the least power, 4 to 6 times the air per watt, and cools everyone at once. That's the efficiency crown, hands down. Choosing the tower should be a deliberate trade, not a default. Pick it when you truly can't mount to a ceiling, when you want air aimed at one person in a small space, when a child or pet makes exposed blades a real worry, or when easy cleaning genuinely matters to you. For a tight bedroom or a desk, it's a fine, sensible choice. Just go in clear-eyed. You're paying for that convenience and safety, not for superior airflow. And whichever you choose, hold on to the one fact underneath both machines. Neither one lowers the temperature. They move air over your skin so sweat evaporates and you feel cooler. And that's the entire game. So the rule is simple: match the fan to the job. Cooling a room full of people. Ceiling fan. Cooling one person in a small space you can't drill into. Tower. Same physics, different targets. Next time we'll open up the air conditioner, the one machine here that actually does make the air colder, and show you exactly how it pulls heat out of a room and dumps it outside.